Dark stretching winter bars, bright asphalt black and pink, bipedal pushing, pulling, onwards low sun through pale air, brick standing stasis, dirt blue paint, glass, concrete shadows, broad and green, red, yellow inflections of air, wide and raging forces below this perception, bristling through quiet light. Sunlight flaring off ranks of blank windows and laying a broad stripe across water, peaking gentle and cold, and a flat smudge wake. Flaring light, blank stripes and flashing windows, laying gentle water smudged flat and cold, running peaks across. Discordant flying energy, red, stroking and licking waves and shotgun particles, delirious and leaning to the right with possible perhaps attention, and their upward gazing through waving heat, winter, late winter heat, bodies opening and closing and swirling, blooming together, more red delirium, bubbling flowers, bursting blood, noise rising to a ceiling and bursting and falling in showers. Plastic shimmering, yellow in dirty, glass in loops and light electric, red, amber, blue air, shining summer blocks, traffic molecules streaming, black limpet gum, hard creasing and straightening, fabric and flight. Lowered, folding across a slump, brittle air, thin, bitter coffee, burnt umber resin, turning of image, stretching heads hard, light kicking before a pitch pool around familial pausing, arcing urine, acrid light from oblong scorched tangerine. Ragged sun, steel rising through concrete, blue fire, red framed throbbing against sky, and black glass. Certainly nothing rising here, light sinking softly into whitewashed render and bundled bags of crap zitting out. Green walls, recro cabin, common, rough and industrial, dappled today, broken sunbathing rooftop decayed, blighting. Legs discarded, reaching for the away from grass, clumping along intersections of materials and planes. Dilapidation, patchwork, failure, success, going on. Wet smudging, a falling off over a white slope and down through frozen blades, green light and dismal drowning beauty, dark sketches figuring through a brittle parkscape, through a million evanescent crystals, pushing aside, crushing and packing together, and stick-like dark in the wet, dim, mossy glow, drifting towards an air of stones. Pollarded against rich waving blue depth and particles of chemical compounds flowing through Chester's Way chicken and softly roaring hot sticky traction, spinning globules of water thrust up against dragging curves, pressing air, figures shimmering blackly against concrete and thick viscous light. In the giddy depths of hot cobalt black, a shining third-story window. Gaudy desires rising from parks with smoke and evaporating sweat, metallic pop alongside grinding, screaming and delighting squeals, streaming hair, long lines of shuffling, throbbing bodies, what loveliness through torn sugar. Sexualized aspirational poverty, tacked giant size across a dilapidated corner, fairly weeping, grinning crocodile tears and splashing fantastical colour across ailing bricks and glass and an ornate dying and impossible living and pathetic morphing hope. Watering the rich features of beauty beyond the common experience, sheets of flowing time, something obscured, relaxing and soothing the privileged experience, a step beyond the gating of status, out of broadly psychopathic tendencies. Each rich red brick pushing outwards to its every limit's edge, all containing particles of stale growth, limp linen and an occasional fluttering, drawing water off into traffic air, across rails, hefted shining above kinetics, roaring traction, energetic planes, intimate, intricate and invisibly cartographic, constellating around shifting soft vulnerabilities, dispersed along tarmac. Beautiful blocks of failing brutal space against a virulent absent power and hegemonic swamping of riverbanks, asymmetry and lines of force, particles of urine, cigarette smoke, lust and electric bars, warming damp, thunderous dreaming, organising sky, organising breath of birds, shaping flesh with grinning grey force, slamming into a softness of evening. Dull shine flowing and cold branching shivers smeared and seared with distractions of muddied attention, dragging heavy across shimmering concrete and implied mud, coloured depths of chill swirling mingled breath, cold poles impeding dripping of bipedal bodies through chill day dun green metal and concrete dull shine. Roaring energies, buzzing flux, relaxed gazing, patterns of chatter and silence around monumental iron coyness, under marshmallow light, inside a traffic vortex, a stranded 30 unsold dreamers of different trajectories, passing in a diesel arc. Curving steel, curving concrete and rising up and blocks and towers bridged through concrete delicately stroked with low autumnal afternoon sun haze, gently, softly gossamer down and shining in a thunderous choking. Shadows crossing between jammed cages, shuffling and lurching and flaring in light shifts, night shining through outsized monetized facialities under blocks of wealth, immense shuddering stench of networks of commercialized desiring, clogging all routes. Sweeping concrete down and light sinking in and shining, impregnating with a glow faint in the dark and echoing deep-throated whine of reversal, all hardening marginally with dropping temperature and torn visible respiration of diamond air, glittering, sharply lacerating. Weather, dripping, Clifford still, deprivation, blue architectural blocks of monumental torn sensations, squatting, wriggling decay of desperation and vitality, tandoori, Super Bowl, shine-resistant scab, a concrete struggle, a permanent dampness. Fired and stacked industrially, producing spaces for restricted movement, whistling, gazing, sweeping arcs of extremities, and stacked high against cold air and glazed, shining when light is caught and particles or waves or strings rebound over flowing water. Winter revelations of upreaching, intertwining complexity surging with infinite patience and slowness for life. Aspects of a lung, bipedal animals' hearts thumping in the midst and wistful desiring for a greening of spring then summer. Concrete wire weeds and sunlight. Movement of pigment getting pulled up and propelled across beige concrete cracks and crumbling, a blank stitched grim gesturing of a mouth and a reaching out dynamic gestures in arrows, signed in anonymity. Wet street, black road, smearing green light, skittering red light, slipping through peaks of pools of reflection, with rough rubber peeling off of wet tarmac and minuscule explosions of water, illuminated yellow, white, catching hints of variations, spinning away. Scraped across a surface of an aquamarining sky around towering steel in ranks to the depths of a vast distance, wheeling past at speeds of grey unspooling, rooting through an edge and into great warrens of complex life restricted forms. Nonchalant signatures overlaying palimpsest depths through eras of smoking and tricks and absolute deceleration, mild trauma, thin sheets of brief flighting, rapid chemical flows complexly interacting in a social context, and scarlet pulsating scattering joy.